Hello everybody, welcome to session number 8, titled Web Filtering. Our objectives for this lesson is to understand how SofaWare web filtering service works. We will learn how to configure and manage a simple category-based web filtering policy, and we will learn how to configure and manage a black and white list web filtering policy. Website Access Management. So why should we use website access policies? First of all, we will increase productivity of our employees by preventing employee productivity loss by limiting employee access to sites belonging to undesirable categories. We will avoid legal liability. Employees can easily access inappropriate content that is bound to legal liabilities for which organizations are held accountable. And of course, we'll control bandwidth. Will prevent users from accessing websites that include bandwidth-consuming content like YouTube and so on. Enforcement of business values. Some organizations are built around strong core values. These organizations are usually non-profit or religious and have an interest in preventing any activity that may undermine those values. And of course, child protection. Parental control helps your customers protect their kids from such information. How website access policies work. Elements of website access policy. We'll have the local web rules, and we'll have central web filtering subscription-based service or category-based filtering. Local web rules are examined before centralized web filtering rules. When a website is blocked by the Website Access Enforcement module, the Website Access Denied page is displayed to the user. Users with web filtering override permission can get temporary access to those websites. Selected network objects can be totally excluded from the Website Access Enforcement model. For example, a CEO of a company won't even feel that you have a web filtering access policy because his specific host is bypassing all that protection. Managing website access policies. Remote management of local web rules. Configuration of centralized web filtering service. Website access denied page customization, configuring web filtering override permission for selected users, remote management of network objects that are excluded from the website access enforcement. Managing the local web rules. Under web filtering, local web rules, plans and gateway objects, you can configure the web rules policy. It's recommended to create a different policy per gateway object when needed. Centralized web filtering service. The service enables filtering websites by the following options: category-based, general web filtering policy, centralized web rules by domain name only. It requires the SMP to integrate with a third-party OPSEC UFP software. Category-based filtering is supported under Surf Control Web Filtering for Checkpoint Firewall 1 version 2.1 or Secure Computing under Smart Filter. General web filtering policy, Surf Control Web Filter for Checkpoint Firewall 1 version 5.x. WebSense Enterprise configured for Checkpoint Firewall 1 integration. The SofaWare UFP alternative turns the SMS component into a centralized web filtering server, performs category-based filtering based on the Secure Computing Smart Filter. No need to install an external web filtering server software. This is recommended. So how does it work? Centralized web rules are consulted before other centralized web filtering options. If there are no match between a centralized web rule and a URL, then the third-party UFP server is consulted. Web filtering by categories. Here's a little workflow on how it works. The SafeIt Office appliance connects to the Service Center and is updated with the web filtering service options and categories. A host behind the appliance generates an HTTP request. The appliance extracts the requested URL or IP address from the HTTP request. The appliance sends a categorization request for the URL or the IP address of the website to the SMS component. The SMS obtains the specific URL categories number from the web filtering server. The SMS sends the category number back to the appliance. The appliance determines whether access to this website should be denied or permitted based on the configured category. Let's look now how it works with a third-party OPSEC UFP general policies. The SafeItOffice appliance connects to the service center and is updated with the web filtering service option and categories. Host behind the appliance generates HTTP request. The appliance extracts the requested URL or IP address from the HTTP request. The gateway sends the URL or IP address of the website to the SMS. The SMS queries the UFP server, WebSense or Enterprise or Surf Control whether the website should be blocked or allowed. The SMS sends the response to the appliance. The appliance blocks or allows access to the website depending on the response from the SMS. Centralized web rules. SafeItOffice appliance connects to the service center and is updated with the web filtering service options. Host behind the appliance generates HTTP request. The appliance extracts the requested URL or IP address from the HTTP request. Gateway sends the URL or IP address of the website to the SMS. The SMS extracts the URL domain name. If no match is found between the domain name and the web filtering policy rule, then the SMS queries the UFP server if installed. SMS sends a response to the appliance. Access to the website is blocked or allowed depending on the policy. Centralized web filtering configuration. Under web filtering, centralized web filtering, again under plans or gateway objects, you can enable the web filtering for selected gateways, choose the website categories to allow or block. Recommended: create a basic category-based policy in plans and then modify it for individual gateway objects. Centralized web rules. Under web filtering, centralized web rules, again under plans and gateway objects, it's used to configure the centralized web rules policy by domain names. It's recommended that you create a centralized web rule policy per individual gateway. Additional configuration: managing the blocked website page, excluding network objects from web filtering enforcement. Managing a blocked site page. Under web filtering, blocked site message node, under plans and/or gateways. You can modify the text that will be displayed in the default blocked site message. It's recommended to configure in plans for static message on all gateways assigned with the web filtering service in their plans. Use the GUI customizer tool to completely replace the blocked site message page with your own branded page. A nice way to maintain customer loyalty. Check your textbook for more information. This is an example of what a customized web page can look like. Managing website access policies exclusion. Exclude network objects from website access policies enforcement. Remotely manage network object for selected gateways. Configure under network and network object node. Manage users with web filtering override permission. Configure local users on the SafeItOffice appliance or through the SMP. Use Radius. It's recommended to configure the service center for user authentication communities. We will learn that in just a couple of modules. Centralized web filtering service availability notes. Centralized web filtering is a mission-critical service. Website access is prevented in case the UFP server is not active and properly licensed as required. The service center is not available for managed gateways. If any of the relevant components fail, HTTP clients will not be able to access websites. The experience: web filtering override password is required for each HTTP request. To ensure constant uninterrupted HTTP-based web surfing, install the SMP and high availability scheme. Configure on failure policies for managed gateways with one of two modes. Fail open mode unchecked. If web filtering service fails, all HTTP traffic will be blocked. Fail open mode checked. If web filtering service fails, all HTTP traffic will be temporarily allowed. The URL cache. SafeItOffice appliance hold a cache of the last 100 URLs allowed by the centralized web filtering service. Appliance only queries the service center for web filtering information for URLs that are not found in the cache. This prevents the appliance from renegotiating with the SMS for each and every HTTP request and maintains performance. Web filtering cache is cleared each time an update now command is issued. This concludes this session. Please take the time to complete lab number 8 on book 3, and please join us for our next session, number 9, Managing vStream Antivirus.